Hey everyone, welcome to the Wealth Motivation Channel. I am, of course, Brad. And guess what? I'm eating ice cream because I can and I will. And I'm doing a shitload of cardio this week. Sorry for the French. Anyway, so I don't know. Me and some friends were talking this weekend. Me and some friends were doing some talking this weekend. And guess what? We got onto the topic of business partners. Can you succeed with them? Can you succeed without them? Are they important? Are they not important? There's a slew of questions that we can answer. But, as per usual, the struggle is real. With the T-Rex trying to reach the cheeseburger. And business, the struggle is real. Trying to come up with a viable business. Trying to find good business partners, or if you're trying to do it on your own, trying to make sure you have all the time in the world. Trying to make sure you have all the time in the world to do so. But here's the deal. So, can business partners aid you, help you, screw you over? Can they be a hindrance? All are viable questions. But here's the deal. I think too many people jump straight into the business relationship without having a little bit of background on the person that they're doing business with. They don't really know the person. They haven't known them for that long. They don't know what their ambitions are. They don't know what their perception is of how the company could come about, how they're going to help that company grow, and so on. Like, you don't know much about them. But then there's the other side where you're really good friends with somebody. You're like, yeah, let's start a business. Me, I can be the CFO, you can be the CEO, and then it all goes to hell in a handbasket because you guys end up hating each other and you don't want to work with each other. But then there's also the deal of, hey, we will leave the business at the business. We won't take it home. We won't take it to, the barbecue that we're hanging out with and doing stuff with each other this weekend. We won't do that. So, there's many different forms and ways that that a business could thrive and do really well, or it could go crashing down in flames, like that one hot air balloon or whatever it was. Yeah. Not good. Anyway, but I see business partners as more of an asset than a liability. And if you don't know what those terms mean, you might want to look them up. I'm not trying to be condescending or anything, but those are very important business terms. Just saying. So, me and some friends were talking, and we were talking about potentially starting businesses together in the future. And the only reason I would consider going into business with these guys, A, I have known them for quite a while. B, they have business degrees. And C, they are very driven people. They aren't screwing around. They aren't joking around. They're like, we're going to do this. We're not going to sit back, be poor. We're going to be contributing to society, creating jobs, all this other fun stuff. And generally, the old saying, go with your gut. When I go into some situations, I have a very bad gut feeling, and that is usually very correct, and I should have ran for my life. But I'm a very curious person, and as they also say, curiosity killed the cat. So, yeah. And I've had to get out of business ventures before, per se, and I had to run from those situations because I was getting royally screwed over. But I'm not one to defame or, try and, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not trying to slander anyone's reputation, because my methodology and my thought process is, if they're going to come crashing down, they're going to come crashing down on their own accord. Because if you're doing something wrong, it's going to come back to bite you. It's just a matter of time. So I don't try and defame or slander anyone. Anyway, so yeah, these friends of mine, one guy is getting his degree in accounting and the other one has his degree in finance. And some may be asking, what's the difference between those degrees? Well, finance can be a little bit broader. I mean, it all depends on who you talk to. Some people say accounting is really in-depth and just And then some people say, oh, finance is really in-depth and Or some people say accounting is very broad or finance is really broad. I mean, but for the most part, it's both are dealing with the financial structure of the companies. But I'm not either one of those. So, yeah. Anyway, so I like to have people that know the different structures of the company. Like my one friend who's the accountant, who's going to be graduating with his accounting degree, I would trust him fully. Like, he is a very smart guy. He is great with numbers. He knows a good deal. Like, he knows his stuff. And then my other friend who's in finance, I would trust him as well. Both these guys are very smart. They're very driven. And the biggest part for me is they're driven. You can have business partners that are like, oh yeah, I'm totally gonna do this, and then they don't do anything. This is really good ice cream, by the way. Kit Kat with chocolate. Bueno. It's like the one Spanish word that I know. Bueno. Meaning good. Anyway. So. Yeah. Just do a little bit of background research on them. And all this other stuff. But if you look at the most successful people that are some of the richest, like Bill Gates, he had Paul Allen and a whole bunch of other staff right behind him. Steve Jobs, I know he had a workforce. No one that I can think of off the top of my head that was notable. Not saying that they're irrelevant or, not important, but no one was really ever truly mentioned about Steve Jobs. Mark Cuban and all the people that he developed his software with, and he walked away with $5 billion, and I think after taxes it was like $3.2 billion. And then Robert Kiyosaki, he's had a slew of business partners. Grant Cardone, my role model, slew of business partners, people that I know. One of the big real estate moguls that taught at my university for a little bit. He had numerous business partners. My uncle, business partners. It's basically, you need a business partner to a degree. But select them properly is what I would like to say. So talk to the people, see what their ambitions are, talk to other people that have worked with them. Have they accomplished what they said they were going to do? Have they done this? Have they done that? Just to try and get them. Just try and get to know, like, hey, what have you done? What are you going to do? Like, yeah, it's great to have aspirations and goals for the company. But if you're just sitting there like, Nothing good's happening. I don't know why. It's because you're not doing anything. You're just sitting there on your ass doing jack shit. Again, excuse my French. But anyway, so, and then you hear the horror stories of like, oh, my business partner took off with all the money in the bank accounts and we went bankrupt and I had to file for bankruptcy and took me years to get on my feet. And or you hear about the other side, hey, we did this on a handshake. No. You can be the best friends in the world, and you still should not do anything on a handshake. You should make sure that everyone is getting their fair share out of that business. And just to make sure, you guys need to have paperwork signed and done and looked through by an attorney or multiple attorneys to make sure the language is proper, it's clear, like there's no like, hey, I'm deciphering and it seems like it's actually saying this instead of this. None of that BS. So make sure that you can trust the people. Make sure that you have a good gut feeling about them. And I know that sounds weird, but trust me, it's a real thing. Make sure that, I know, even if it's your best friend, you may not want to do it, but have attorneys involved, get your paperwork in order, and hold each other accountable. Make sure everyone is holding themselves accountable. Make sure that everyone's doing their job that they said that they were going to do. Hey, you said you're going to do marketing, but you haven't put out any videos, posts, anything like that. Shit. Sorry, I meant to, but I have this excuse and that excuse and all the other excuses. And then you want to not hurt the person, but you want to take their paperwork and smack them across the head because you feel like they're retarded. And you don't want that in a business, because then you have to talk to human resources. Yeah. Anyway. But overall, here's just the take-home message. Choose your business partners wisely. Try not, and that's another thing. People are like, well, what if I want to do business with my spouse? I mean, that's great if you want to do it with your spouse. But make sure that there's paperwork. I would say that if the business, like per se you, heaven forbid, you and your spouse get divorced, that you guys split it 50-50. Make sure that there's paperwork there that says if you guys ever get divorced, the business, you guys get 50-50. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, so overall, just make sure there's a clear understanding of what the direction and the goal of the business is, what the mottos are, what kind of market you guys are trying to ascertain. I mean, just trying to make sure that everything is good. Make sure that everything is crystal clear and that you all are on the same page. Have weekly business meetings. Even in the beginning, have business meetings every other day to make sure everyone's on the same page. Because you want this business to thrive and function and blow up and become a multi-billion-dollar business. You want it to be successful. And you can't do that without great partners. And if you're not holding each other accountable in the beginning, what says when you guys are successful, you're going to be holding each other accountable in the end? So, pick your partners wisely. Be smart about it. Listen to your gut. And if you're involved with your spouse, make sure there's paperwork in there to keep you both above water and save you both. So, yeah, that's my video for this week. Anyway, this is the Wealth Motivation channel. Like I said, choose your business partners wisely. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. I would love to have your guys' ideas for videos and just keep stuff going. So please hit that subscribe button. And please hit the subscribe button and please leave comments down below. Let me know what you want me to discuss in future videos because I would love your guys' input. So, have a good one. Have a great week. Stay motivated, stay wealthy. Have a good week, guys.